Hi guys, welcome back to another Vlogmas video. I am actually refilming this video for the second time. I filmed this a few hours ago and I started getting editing on it, and I realized, I guess I should tell you what the video is first. So I'm doing my most anticipated 2026 book releases, and I have, I think, 8 that are like guaranteed reads for me, books that I'm really excited for. And I filmed it the first time and I realized that I was only talking about, I feel like I was only talking about the first books in those series, because a lot of these books are, second or third or fourth books in a series. And I feel like I didn't really touch base on them. I was literally just talking about the first book in the series. And while yes, that is important, because I guess I could give y'all ideas on if you want to read the first book in order to read the new one coming out in 2026. I feel like I just needed to refilm it and talk more about the book that I'm actually excited to come out. So here we are. I'm refilming this for a second time. I hope that I do a little bit of a better job. I have my laptop right here. I have a list on Notion. I've had this list for a while, and anytime I see any sort of new release coming out that looks interesting, or I guess not just any book that looks interesting, books that I know I'm gonna read and books that I feel like I would get what am I trying to say? Not midnight release. Well, I mean, yeah, that, but get the book the day it's released. That's what I'm trying to say. So these are all books that I'm really down bad for and I can't stop thinking about. So we're gonna go in order from when they come out next year. I think 5 of them do have release dates, and then the last 3 don't yet, because they're most likely going to be later in the year. And honestly, I don't even know if they're going to come out next year. I'm just hoping they do, because they've been announced. There's just not a release date yet. So I'm getting ahead of myself. We'll start in order from the books that are coming out in spring 2026. The first one is Rights of Starling by Devney Perry. This is the second book in the Shield of Sparrows series. That's the first book, Shield of Sparrows. I read Shield of Sparrows earlier this year, loved it, gave it 5 stars, and pretty soon, right after I read that, she announced Rights of Starling. I also forgot, I will be putting up on the screen what the covers look like, if the covers have been announced already, and if not, well, sorry, you're out of luck, but so am I. Shield of Sparrows was about this girl from this kingdom who sailed across the sea with these guys that she was in an arranged, not guys, but this guy that she was in an arranged marriage with, and she ended up going to be with them to try to make peace with their country, because her dad was the king of another country, the one that she came from. I feel like that's kind of confusing. The guy that she was supposed to marry, that the arranged marriage was with, didn't end up being with. She ended up getting with another guy. And I loved the chemistry in this book between them. The atmosphere was so beautiful. I'm already getting ahead of myself talking about the last book, but I loved the atmosphere. I loved every character in the first book. I did pull up the synopsis for some of the books if there already are a synopsis out. So it says, Calandras, I don't know how to say that. 5 kingdoms are on the verge of destruction. The Crux migration. The Crux, there's these creatures in this series that are giant, I don't know, they're there's different ones. There's ones that are lions and giant birds, and they're killing people. It says, the Crux migration is coming, and in the wake of a devastating attack, I've been separated from the man who owns my heart, which is the Guardian. And where the first book left off, if the second one picks up exactly where the first one left off, it's gonna be amazing, because they went into this cave. I'm so excited. Oh my god, I forgot to tell y'all, that comes out April 7th. So that's the first one of the year that's coming out. The second one is Light Wielder. That is the second book to Metal Slinger. Metal Slinger is about this girl who lives on this I think it was technically its own country, but it was on the ocean. They lived out in the ocean, and her people were not allowed on land. She somehow ends up getting to land, and she finds out that she's a long lost, I don't know if it's a princess, or she finds out she has special powers and stuff. And so you just read about her journey. I also pulled up so it seems like this book is going to have a very big time jump. Also, I'm putting up on the screen the cover of the book that I like the most. There's 2 covers that are shown on Goodreads and Barnes & Nobles and stuff. I don't know which one is which yet. So I'm just going to put up on the screen the one that's my favorite and the one that I want. But it says, it's been 4 years since Jovi betrayed Acker, fracturing the relationship. Her decision to take King Edmund's magic, sparing his life at Acker's request, has sparked a brutal war. The Kenta, which is, I think is what she is. Actually, You know what? I don't even remember. The Kenta and Strau forces ally against the Royson and Alaha with Mali. I don't know any of these names. I know them, but I don't know how to pronounce them. With Mali perched dangerously on the edge of their battles. So it seems like there's going to be a big time jump. I don't know how I feel about that, honestly. Yeah, I don't know how I feel about a 4-year time jump. Maybe I'm reading this wrong and that's not, I don't know. But loved Metal Slinger. I read it for a video to like read out of my comfort, not read out of my comfort zone, but like read lesser known authors, and loved it. So that one comes out, Light Wielder comes out May, wait, why did I write down May 19th? And then on, wait, I wrote down May 19th. Barnes and Nobles is saying expected June 9th. Okay, I'll put up on the screen what the correct one is. I'll do some research. That's interesting. The next one is Night Witch. This is the second book to Spellcaster. I read Spellcaster a few months ago. I feel very not entitled, but I feel very like, I can't wait for this book because Spellcaster, the first book. I was on my Kindle like 6 months ago and I was like, I need to find a new book. I was really looking for a witchy romance in the middle of summer. Don't know why. I was just in the mood for a witchy romance. And I found Spellcaster, clicked on it, tried to download it, and then I was like, it was like, wait, it's not out yet. Like, you have to wait till like October, November. And I was like, are you serious? So I waited like 4 months for this first book to come out. And now I have to wait, when does this come out? June 23rd. I have to wait like 6 months for this second book to come out. So I have been waiting a long time for both of these books, but I'm so excited. It's by Jamin Eve. This was another author that I knew nothing about. There's not a synopsis out yet for this new book, but the first book is about this girl. She's a witch and she goes to a witch, I think it's like a witch university. And all of her siblings go there. She has like 5 siblings, but there is a guy that her parents are like enemies with, and his son also goes to that university. And she's told, stay away from him. He's bad news. His parents are bad news, blah, blah, blah. And obviously they end up crossing paths, and it's a true enemies to, why am I crossing my fingers? True enemies to lovers, but I feel like they don't even get to the lovers part in the first book, so I'm really excited for the second. From what I remember, the second book still ended with them not being on like great terms, but they were on better terms than the beginning, if that makes sense. So really excited for the second one. Like I said, that comes out June 23rd. The next book has a lot of controversy around it, and I want to know if y'all have heard about this too. It's Burn of the Everflame by Penn Cole. I think this is the 4th book that's coming out. I read the first 3 back to back earlier this year and loved them. The controversy around this book is I'm pretty sure it was supposed to come out like last year, like over a year ago. There's been a big time jump between, there's been a big jump between when the 3rd book came out and when this one was going to get published. I think it was supposed to come out last year, and it got bumped back, and then when that time was supposed to come, it got bumped back again. And so now the release date is July 14th, but everyone on Reddit is like, it's not even going to come out July 14th. Like, people are just they don't believe it. And so we'll see. I honestly don't even know how to explain this book. There's this girl, her mom was like taken by this kingdom, and she ends up teaming up with this guy named, is it Lucifer? Or I don't know. There's this guy, and he is, I don't remember if he's the king or not, guys. I don't even know if I can explain this book right now. I forget what this series was about. I know there was like a dragon sort of thing that was the girl's pet, and I know that she didn't know she had powers until like a certain age, but her mom ended up knowing like the whole time or something like that. I honestly would probably have to do a reread of this, but I know I did love the series. I devoured 3 books within like a few weeks. So this comes out July 14th. The next one is The Knave in the Moon by Rachel Gillig. This is the second book to The Night and the Moth. I did not love The Night and the Moth as much as I thought I would. I was so excited for this because Rachel Gillig is, if you don't know, the author of One Dark Window and Two Twisted Crowns, and I loved those books. So The Night and the Moth came out. It's like a dark fantasy. There's a gargoyle, a talking gargoyle, and it's like these girls that work in a church or something. Not a church, but like they can go underwater and like see things and like see visions and stuff. But then she ends up going on this like journey with this talking gargoyle. I don't know. It's a dark fantasy book, I'm pretty sure. Felt dark to me. But I loved the talking gargoyle, but overall the book just didn't live up to my expectations, which is fine. It was still really good, but it wasn't, I thought it was gonna be like a 5-star read. So The Knave and the Moon comes out September 1st, 2026. We have a long wait for this. I honestly did not look up to see if there's a synopsis for this yet. Oh my gosh, yeah, there is. Okay, let me read this to y'all. I don't even know if I've read this yet. I didn't know there was. A cathedral is what girlfriend worked in. So it says Aisling Cathedral is in ruins. Roderick, Mendacious, Bartholomew, and Maud Barr are rumored to be dead, and the king has taken Sybil Delling, that's the main girl's name, Sybil, and Bartholomew is the talking gargoyle. The king has taken Sybil Delling as his bride. To show off their union and solidify his power over Trom, Benji proposes a series of tournaments throughout the hamlets. Captive and drugged, Sybil remains determined to vanquished him as she once did the omens, even if she destroys the kingdom's faith and herself in the process. But then a mysterious knave, what even is a knave? We're gonna look that up real quick. Oh, a knave is either a jack in cards, or it's a dishonest or unscrupulous man. So a dishonest man. Okay. Well, the synopsis keeps going, and it says, but then a mysterious knave rises to the top of the lists, a man with no name and no memory who may just be Sybil's ticket to undoing Benji's power. That sounds really good. I did like where the book left off. Again, I just didn't love the whole story, but I'm excited. The next 3 books do not have titles or release dates yet. They've just been announced that like they will be coming out in the next like line in the series. So the next one is The Eating Woods 3rd book by Carrie Lake. The first book is Anathema. The second one is Eldritch, which I actually just finished like last week. And I loved Anathema. Eldritch was like okay. I really enjoyed the last 50%, but not so much the first 50%. And the way that second book left off, I immediately was like, is there going to be a 3rd book? And Carrie Lake has confirmed there will be a 3rd book. Don't know when it's coming out. Don't know what it's going to be called. I'm pretty sure Anathema came out in 2024. Eldritch was this year, so I'm guessing the 3rd book's going to be 2026. We can hope. This series, if you want to know, even though I don't know what the 3rd book's going to be about, this series is about a girl who lives in the like mortal land. I'm pretty sure it's literally called like Mortasia, and it's horrible. She was left. So the Eating Woods are like these horrible woods. Like if you're banished, when you can be banished for like anything in Mortasia. They send you into the Eating Woods and people never come out. She ends up going in there because her sister is banished. And in the process of trying to save her sister, she gets to like a portal on the other side of the woods that takes her into like the magical lands. And there she meets Zavander, who is our main male character. And he's like the killer for the king. Like he goes and kills people the king wants killed. But he takes her in, and we see their relationship and Zavander's family relationship with her kind of like blossom, and they end up falling in love, and it's really good. Like I said, the second book, the first 50% was just really slow, but then it got so much better. There's like Mortasia comes under this, I guess it's like a curse kind of. It's like every human turned into like these giant, this is gonna sound so weird out of context. I promise it's not that bad when you read the book. They turned humans into like these giant spiders, and like the spiders have the humans' faces on the bottom. This sounds so weird like saying this if you haven't read the books, but I promise it's really good and y'all should read it. The next one I'll put up on the screen. There's no title, there's no release date for this either. But Stephanie Garber posted on her Instagram a few months ago that there will be a Jax and Evangeline novella. I cannot wait. For those who don't know, Jax and Evangeline are the 2 main characters in the Once Upon a Broken Heart series. Jax is also in the Caraval series, if you've read that. He's like a minor character. I think he gets in it more in maybe like the final books. But Once Upon a Broken Heart, she announced a Jax and Evangeline novella, and the way that she announced it was so cute. There's a guy in the series, his name is like Christoph Nightlinger or something, and he writes the local paper, and she did it in the form of like he announced it. I don't know, it was so cute. I'm so excited. I love Jax and Evangeline. Like I need to know what happens after that last book ended. I am so excited for this. I'm really hoping, because it's a novella, and it's shorter. It will come out sometime in 2026. I don't see how it wouldn't. She already announced it a few months ago. I'm literally so excited. How many times have I said excited in this video? I don't know. Okay, the last one's a bit of a gamble because again, I guess it's also like the Jackson Evangeline novella, but ACOTAR number 6. Sarah J. Maas, I will put up on the screen what she posted. She announced that back in like June or July that she had finished the first drafts of the next ACOTAR book, and that was already like what, 6 months ago. So I'm just waiting. I'm hoping we get an announcement soon on at least the name, like just the name of the book. Give us that, or give us the cover. I don't care, but I want to know. And the fact that the first drafts were done 6 months ago, I'm like, okay, where are you at in this process now? You know, like even if it's going to come out in the end of 2026, just please let us know, because I am currently rereading the books. I've already reread the first and second. I feel like I don't have to explain ACOTAR. Everyone knows what ACOTAR is if you watch anything about books on YouTube, I feel like. So that is all of the books that I'm really, really excited for. Books that I will be getting like the day that they release. There are more authors. Like I know Freda McFadden has a book or 2 or 3 coming out. She comes out with so many so fast. And I'm trying to think of like some more books. If I can find more books, I will put them up on the screen. I feel like I'm blanking right now. I really just wrote down the ones that like I actually know about and I'm really, really excited for. But I know there's going to be so many great books coming out in 2026, and I'm so, so excited. I feel like it was just yesterday that it was 2024, and I was excited for all these book releases in 2025, like especially Onyx Storm, and it's already been a year since then. Like it's absolutely crazy. So hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know down in the comments what books you're excited for in 2026. I'm sure there's some I'm missing, so let me know what you're excited for, and let me know if you're excited for any of the books that I mentioned today. And yeah, that's going to be the end of this video. I love you guys so, so much. Don't forget to follow me on everything down below. I have my Instagram, Goodreads, Fable, literally everything. And don't forget to like and subscribe. And I will see you guys in my next video.